Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Silent Hill 3. Today we continue our search for Leonard, who is really our only lead here in Silent Hill. The goal is to try to find Claudia, and Leonard is her father. And kind of an asshole, spoiler. I still think there needs to be elevator music in there. Leonard mentioned that he's trapped beyond a door at the end of the second floor. I don't remember if that door was there before. I feel like it spawns after you get that cutscene. I could be wrong on that though. And I honestly don't care if I am. Whatever. This area is something I hesitate to call a maze. It looks like a maze, but as you can already see, if you go the wrong way, a shutter comes down, so you can't actually fail this. The worst case scenario is if you go the wrong way, you get slightly inconvenienced. So I'm genuinely not sure why this is a thing. I do like the heavy metal sound of these gates coming up and down. Then again, these games always had good sound design. Except the shotgun in the first game. That did not have a good sound effect. And you get those occasional camera angles where you have to run towards the camera and one comes down behind you. And it seems like it's attempting to add some tension, but these things can never hurt you. I'm not sure if that's different for the hard mode, but I doubt it. I could pretend to be tense right now, but there's no reason. And you might think, oh hey, look, a save point. Cool, right? Nah, it's not a save point. It's a fake save point. The worst kind!
Still has an unusually high fever. Eyes don't open. Getting a pulse, but just barely breathing. Why? What is keeping that child alive?
That was Lisa from the first game. I'm guessing the actual Lisa. There is some debate if the Lisa we saw was actually her or just Alessa's memory of her. I honestly don't know either way. And I'm fine with that. Ooh. Well, things are getting creepy here, so we do what I always do whenever things are creepy. I ease the tension by staring at Heather's butt. And that's all I'm looking at. Not interested in anything else going on. Just Heather's butt. Oh yeah. As you can probably figure, this is a random transition into Otherworld Hospital. I will give this game credit, this at least looks vastly different than Otherworld Hospital and Silent Hill 2. Fortunately, we have a map. And these doors are really hard to see. You'll see me hugging the walls a lot just because it's really hard to tell which one's a door and what's just part of the wall. I don't love this area. It looks kind of cool. But in terms of gameplay, not in love with it. However, what I am in love with is, well, I was going to say the save point that's over here, but also the items. And there you go. Save your game before moving on. Because you don't want to have to do that walking segment again. It's just annoying. Damn it, game. How dare you lock me out of there? And on hard difficulty, you can fall off of some of these platforms. So be aware of that. That's also the case in that sewer area on that bridge after you use that dryer on that monster in the water. Yeah, you can fall off of that too, so be careful. And I finally figured out how to perform this move that I was talking about. I had to look it up online. Wish I'd done so sooner, except I don't really feel bad about the ammo I wasted in the handgun, so it's okay. Place that down, back up. Wait for some of these gribbly bastards to show up. They will eventually. Any day now. Is he walking away? Brah, got something for you. I'm over here. Thank you. Overhead attack. Away! And just keep smacking him. Very effective. Thank you to the person from my original LP that suggested that, because it is a good strategy. On normal and harder difficulties, there are more enemies in there. I talked about before the industrial sounds in the background that, for me, just kind of ruin the ambience of hearing the creatures. They already have creepy sounds as it is, plus the ambience in the environment. I don't feel like normal Mook enemies deserve that extra attention. I will give this game that. The ambience has improved a lot in this level. I hear a phone ringing. I wonder who it is. Maybe it's Publishers Clearinghouse telling me I won a great prize. So let's go ahead and answer this phone.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Oh, I forgot your name.
Who are you?
Oh, okay, thanks. Happy birthday, dear. Who are you? Happy birthday to you. Happy 31st birthday.
Is this Leonard?
That's the murderer's name, not my name. I'm not your beloved Stanley either. He's underground now. His new name is Number 7. But don't worry about that now. It's time to celebrate your birthday.
You've got me mistaken for someone else. Today's not my...
I'm not mistaken. Today is your 24th birthday. And I have a present for you. Which do you prefer? To give pain or to receive it? You can have the one you hate the most. Happy birthday to you!
But you're wrong. It's not my birthday.
That was weird. That was basically this game's version of the game show from the elevator in Silent Hill 2. And you notice, and unfortunately that seems to have spawned an enemy. Great. Luckily, we know how to deal with these guys. He said happy 31st birthday. Then he said happy 24th birthday. And Heather is 17. Come on, Heather, take it out. We don't like these gribbly bastards. Heather is 17. Cheryl was 7 when she remerged with Alessa. That equaling 24? Okay. That's weird. That is one thing I like about these old games. Sometimes they add weird stuff that doesn't really serve a purpose, just because. I like it. And we need to be sure to pick up that bag. Healing item, also useful, just because. So of course, Cheryl would be 24 right now. And Alessa was 7 when that whole business with the soul splitting happened. So you add 7 years to that, you get 31, and that's how old Heather's soul, I guess you could say, is. Her body's 17, her soul is 31. If you believe that the soul is created when the body is conceived. If you don't, well, then none of this matters. Oh, look, a morgue. I wonder if this is where the nurses were created. Okay, so I was trying to show here the numbers on these beds. I had a bit of trouble seeing this. And I'm not done talking about that phone call either. There will be lines in kind of a grid to show you which bed you need to look at. Each bed, as I showed earlier, has a number beside it. So once you figure out which beds to look at, you go see what numbers are on each of those beds. And as you can see from the little grid, it tells you what order each number goes in. So if the top left bed has a number 3 on the grid, and the bed itself has a number 9, then you know the third number in the sequence for this code would be a 9. And you can use that same logic for the other numbers in this puzzle. It's not a hard puzzle to figure out. It just takes a little work. Yet for some reason on easy puzzle difficulty, it's removed. And this thing is automatically open. And we get a key. Huzzah! Now we can get out of here. As Heather wields that giant long weapon. I'm fighting really hard not to make a joke about Heather handling long giant weapons. You knew I was going to be a perv at some point playing a game with a female protagonist. And you heard the math. As Cheryl, she would be 24, and as Alessa, she'd be 31, so she's perfectly legal. So it's all good. Going back to that weird phone call. Something I noticed that's different from the radio show on Silent Hill 2 is the caller actually gives you a little bit of info about what you need to do, talking about how Leonard is underground. Which is what we will have to deal with. Ugh. Blood. I would make a blood joke here, but I'm not going to do that. My channel is, after all, the bastion of maturity and highbrow content. So instead, we're just going to use this bag here. Oh, and I don't know if we passed the room already, but there's this room with this mirror where you can look at it and it does this creepy nonsense with your reflection. I intended to show it off and then forgot. And honestly, I don't remember which room that was. And unlike Harry's diary, I'm not going back to record that to show it. Not gonna happen. I don't really think you're missing much. Oh, geez. More enemies. I believe there's a nurse in this room, and she has a gun. And of course, on harder difficulties, there will be more of these gribbly bastards in here. Come on, Rover. I got something for you. A spiked ball to the face! That's what you get for wanting to come up on the Heather, who was also Cheryl, who was also Alessa. She has a lot of names. Oh god, here comes the nurse. Eventually. Look. Rachel, I don't have all day. I got things to do. I'll mention it here, but I need to remember to mention it when I record Born from a Wish. Rachel is a nurse that they talk about in Silent Hill 2. Laura mentions that Rachel was their nurse. Rachel is actually one of the residents in the apartment complex in Silent Hill 4, which is kind of an interesting tie-in. I wasn't really interested in that dialogue. I was interested in that item, which is an ampule, which I never use. And I'm coming over here to show what it was because that text went by so quickly. And more stuff to read if you want to read it. I probably should have read this, but I did not come prepared for this commentary. Save point there. Might want to save your game. It has been a while since we've come across one. And now we can move on. One more thing about that phone call. I mentioned it's kind of like the radio show in Silent Hill 2. You do technically get a birthday present. I never knew this until recently. Creepy sounds. And I'm re-equipping this weapon. I should have used the sword, but I tend to take a lot of damage when I use that. And I don't know that it has this long of a reach. What I'm trying to do is attack her through the bars, but then I ended up picking up this file instead. Again, I didn't read this, so I don't know what it says. Pause it if you want to read it. And that is a strat you can use on those enemies in that previous hallway. There's a section with a grid. If you can lure them over there, you can actually hit them through the grid. Or the gate, I suppose. Metal grating is probably more accurate. And you'll see an example of that here in a minute. This does benefit me because we have to go into that little hallway that she's lurking about in. So if I can kill her without taking any damage, awesome. Always a nice thing. But like I was mentioning with that phone call, you do get a reward or a birthday present, if you want to call it that, for getting that phone call. And as the caller says, it's whatever you hate the most. So if you don't take much damage like I'm doing, you would get health items. If you haven't used much ammo, you would get ammo. Which is kind of interesting because the unlockable weapons work on the same concept. If you defeat the final boss with a melee weapon, you get the infinite ammo machine gun, which is the one I want. If you defeat the final boss with a gun, you get the lightsaber, which is ass. So definitely defeat the final boss with a melee weapon. I don't show that on this LP, I defeat him with the shotgun, but I did reload a save state to unlock the machine gun because that's the one I wanted. As cool as it looks, I really don't like the lightsaber as a weapon in this game. This is a pretty bad trap in normal difficulty. You'll end up with 2 or 3 of these gribbly bastards plus a nurse. So be careful for that. I don't know what to tell you. It's not a fun fight. If you get lucky and can take one of those dudes out without the others coming, that's ideal, but can't promise that's a thing that you can do. The shotgun is probably your best bet, but you also need that for bosses. Either way, it just sucks. Not dealing with that. And I believe it's room 312 you have to go to, which that might have been that room. The bad thing about the reward you get for that phone call, it's guarded by nurses, and I didn't want to fight them. I have no interest, so the rewards were not worth it to me. Now, I legit don't know if the rewards are any good. I don't know how much ammo or how much health you would get. I have enough health items already. At this point, I don't think I've taken any damage. Go ahead and use the blood here. Oh my god, it's like some girl's on her period! Well, I guess I'm not at the bastion of highbrow after all. Damn it! I could have been a contender. I'll get my coat. Me and Thor can hang out with our misunderstood comedy. And that's showing us where we need to go, which we will do next video. There's a save point here. I definitely recommend taking advantage of that. I'm going to go check it here in a moment. I was going to end the video and then I wanted to check the save point because we get some more dialogue, if you want to read that. And now I'm going to end the video. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see y'all next time with more Silent Hill 3.